Our lineage can be traced back to antiquity. From the earliest times of your recorded history and beyond, our family has been directing the play from behind the scenes in one way or another, before the rise and fall of Atlantis. There are 6 disciplines of training within the family, and each member of the family is schooled extensively in all of them from early childhood. The 6 spheres or schools of learning are military, government, spiritual, scholarship, leadership, and sciences. Media machine and ownership of your financial establishments. People are seen as collateral. Pawns are maneuvered around the chessboard according to the game plan. By the family, contrary to popular beliefs, many of us do not mean you any harm directly. There is just the matter of divine destiny to uphold and unfold, and we must play our parts in the game, as given to us by the Creator. In many ways, it is actually in our own interest that you are prepared for the coming harvest. Still, even then, you are choosing the negative polarity with your own free will decisions, with a little help and direction from us. Souls are harvestable in either extreme of the polarities. Yahweh is a creator, not the one infinite creator. There are other and higher gods than him. Ultimately, all are a part of the one, and either consciously or unconsciously exercise their free will to create. Begin to study outside of the box for a true understanding of the creation. In the beginning, there is the infinite one. This is the source of all, intelligent infinity. It is the undifferentiated absolute. Within it is unlimited potential, waiting to become. Infinite intelligence, becoming aware of itself, seeks to experience itself, and the one infinite creator is born or manifest. This appears to your third density comprehension as space. In effect, the creator is a point of focused infinite consciousness or awareness into infinite intelligent energy. The one infinite creator, also becoming self-aware, seeks to experience itself as creator, and in so doing, begins the next step down in the creational spiral. The one infinite creator, in focusing on its infinite intelligence, becomes intelligent energy, and divides itself into smaller portions of itself, which can then experience themselves as creators. In other words, creator is a step down in conscious awareness from the original thought of creation. So, in the beginning was not the Word, but thought. The Word is thought expressed and made manifest as creator. 1. Free will. In the first law, or distortion of creation, the creator receives the free will to know and experience himself as an individuated, though the unified aspect of the One. 2. Love. In the second law of creation, the initial distortion of free will becomes a focus point of awareness known as logos, or love. Love, or logos, using its infinite intelligent energy, then takes on the role of co-creating a vast array of physical illusions or densities, which, according to its intelligent design, will best offer the range of potential experiences in which it can know itself. In effect, the one infinite creator, in dividing itself into logos, could be termed in your third density understanding as a universal creator. In other words, logos creates on a universal level of being. Logos creates physical universes in which it and the creator may experience their self. Let there be light. 3. Light. To manifest this infinite spiritual or life force energy into a physical thought form of densities, logos creates the third distortion of light. From the 3 original primary distortions of the One into making the creation, arise myriad hierarchies of other sub-distortions, containing their own specific paradoxes. The goal of the game is to enter into these in further divisions of creation, and then seek to harmonize the polarities in order to once again know oneself as the creator of them. Using the law of free will, each universal logos designs and creates its own version or perspective of physical reality in which to experience itself as creator. Stepping down again, it focuses its intelligent energy and creates the unmanifest form of galaxies within itself and splits itself into yet further co-creator portions. which in turn will then design and manifest their own ideas of physical reality in the form of points of conscious awareness that we call suns, stars, and planets. A planetary entity begins the first density of experience, into which another individualized portion of the One can incarnate. The planetary energy begins to become aware of its first density of awareness is consciousness, and the planetary logos begins to create other downward steps within itself, and the internal makeup of the planet begins to form. As the raw elements of air and fire combine to work on the waters and earth, thus arising conscious awareness of their being, and the process of evolution begins, forming the second density. Second density beings begin to become aware of themselves as being separate and thus begin to evolve toward the third density of self-conscious awareness, is the lowest density into which a human soul can incarnate. Humans in or the souls incarnated within them seek to return to the light and love from which they came as they begin the journey of progression from third density up to the eighth density and the return to the infinite oneness. Your Creator, the one you have called Yahweh, is not God. He is the planetary God for this planet. Our Creator is the one you refer to as Lucifer. Our Creator is not the devil. Lucifer is what you would call a group soul, which has evolved to the level of the sixth density, which means that he has evolved to a level sufficient that he has attained a status greater than that of Yahweh, and we have evolved higher than him. As a group soul of Lucifer, we were on the verge of seventh density ascension. Though at this level, before harvest comes, we have the choice to progress higher, or to return to help others of lower densities with their evolution, by passing down our knowledge and wisdom to those that call upon us for assistance, with their own free will. We made our decision to stay and help our galactic brothers and sisters, and we were assigned a challenging task by the Council from their eighth density headquarters on the planet Saturn. Because Yahweh did not hand down to those incarnating upon his planet their own free will to know thyself was having very little evolutionary progress. So we, Luciferian souls, were sent to help. Once the order was given from the Council of Elders, we fell, or descended back to a place where we could, with hard work and focus, once again materialize a third density manifestation of ourselves. Yahweh had agreed to our coming. In fact, it was he who had initially asked the Council for a catalyst of change to enter into his creation and share the knowledge and wisdom we had attained through our ascensions. In the absence of free will upon the planet, there can be no polarity, and therefore nothing to choose between. Just as is portrayed in the book of Genesis, the planet was very Edenic in nature. Sure, it was a lovely paradise, yet the beings incarnating there had no agitator toward evolving beyond the third density, and therefore little hope of ever making the journey home to the One. Yahweh has been happy to keep his own little pet Eden project in effect, but with little chance of the souls here making it home, it had become, in effect, a beautiful prison. Yahweh was running a benign dictatorship. Without polarity, there is only the unity of love and light, and no choice to experience anything new. Yahweh agreed that we can introduce the concept of free will to Earth's inhabitants by offering them an initial choice. Hence, in the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, Yahweh takes his inhabitants to a new garden and tells them they can do anything they like, except this one thing, thus creating the desire to do the one thing they are told they cannot. Hence, a choice. We provide the catalyst by telling them the benefits of attaining knowledge. They eat from the tree, and the rest is history. Yahweh thought that his children would still choose to obey him, and when he discovered they did not, he became angry. As he describes in his scriptures, he is a jealous God, and he did not like that his children had chosen to disobey him and follow our advice. We have committed to be here for a predefined set of cycles to provide the catalyst for human evolution by offering you the negative option, or that you choose to call evil. Free will had been granted, and Yahweh could not retract it. Since then, Yahweh has confined us here within the Earth's astral planes, which is very uncomfortable for a being of our wisdom. The Council of Elders gave us the choice to be released against Yahweh's will, but at the cancellation of our contract to serve the planet Earth, or to remain and fulfill our assignment, and endure Yahweh's self-proclaimed wrath. We stayed, but as a karmic result of our group soul's confinement by Yahweh, our own individuated souls were given the mandate to rule over Yahweh's people during our physical incarnations on your planet. All of this physical life incarnation is skillfully designed game, where the infinite creator plays the game of forgetting who it is so it can learn to remember and experience and know itself as creator. Offstage and between lives in the zero-point time or the antimatter universe as incarnated human beings, we, all of us and you as souls, are great friends. You are what you call divine souls, sparks of the one infinite creator. You are life itself, light. You are trapped or quarantined within the matter of this planet you call Earth. You can thank your creator Yahweh for that. You are the offspring or individuations of his group soul. Macrocosmically, you are Yahweh. The karmic effect of his imprisoning us in his astral planes also have an impact on you. You must work it out for yourselves. We are about to enter into a literal alignment of the cosmic, galactic, solar, and lunar planes. This is an event that has slowly converged throughout thousands of years and is caused by the precession of the equinoxes, kind of like a turning of the universal gears. The planet will complete its ascension to the fourth density, the vibrational density of love. During this ascension, there will be a three-way split for those souls inhabiting Earth. Those of the predominantly negative polarity will accompany us as we graduate through the negative or service to self harvest. We, Luciferian soul, will create a new fourth density Earth based on the negative self-service polarity. We must work off our own part of the negative karmic effect incurred from all the negativity created on this planet. Once we have done so, we will be released to once again assume our place as sixth density guardians and teachers of wisdom throughout the galaxy. Those of the predominantly positive polarity, love and light, will ascend to a beautiful new fourth density Earth, where you will begin to work on your learning and demonstrating love and compassion. It will be a very beautiful and golden age. The fourth density begins to open you up to your true powers. You will perform works and wonders of the like that the one you call Jesus promised you would do, and even greater things than these. It will be a very magical time for you. The majority of humans on the Earth who could be considered will experience a period of zero-point time where you feel totally at one with the Creator, giving you an encouraging reminder and glimpse of who you really are, before the veil of forgetfulness once again descends upon you, and you will be transported to another third density planet, a kind of Earth replica, to continue working upon yourselves and learning that life here is all about making choices. You will remain quarantined, incarnating in third density matters until the time of the next harvest, at which time you will need to have proved that you have learned how to be more positive beings, focused more upon being of service to others, rather than seeking only to serve yourself. When you can do this, you will have earned the right to join us and enjoy your inheritance as a member of the galactic community, and sit with us as brothers and sisters of the One around the table of our confederation of planets. If we do not have a negative harvest, we are bound with you for another cycle. Once this great harvest is completed, our contract with the Council and our Creator is also completed. In other words, we have done our duty and would be free to return to our fullest expression, that of sixth, nearly seventh density galactic guardians, and ones who joyfully offer ourselves in service to the one infinite Creator and to our brothers and sisters across the galaxy. However, there is a problem. Well, you would call it a problem, we call it a challenge. I will address this later in more detail in response to another question, but in short, we need a very high percentage of negative polarity if we are to achieve a negative harvest. In other words, we have to be self-service centered to an extreme degree in order to become negatively harvested. This is why we work so hard to be percentage that have to go through another cycle in third density. By attaining a negative harvest, we can still graduate to fourth density, only it will be a negative polarity planet. Not a great place to be. But as I've stated previously, we, as a group soul, have incurred the natural karmic restitution process that we must work off for all the negativity we have caused upon this planet. We will do this for a cycle in our new fourth density world, and then we will be freed to once again be the glorious being of light that we truly are. We need a negative harvest so that we can create our fourth density Earth and clear our karmic record. Understand that we have to be negative. That's what we were sent here to be. It is our contract, and it has always been to help you by providing the catalyst I spoke of earlier. Being negative is very hard for us, not on a physical level. The characters we play enjoy our roles as we're programmed that way. But on a spiritual level, it is hard. We surpassed the lowly negative vibrations eons ago. We are light and we are love. It is a very hard thing for us to do spiritually, to create all this negativity. But we do it because we love you, and it is for your highest good, ultimately. You could say that it is our sacrifice that we have made in order to be of service to the one infinite Creator, and to you, our brothers and sisters in the One. Our initial contract was to introduce the catalyst for free will on this planet. When Yahweh initially began discourse with the Council of Elders, he was not initially looking for help with introducing free will, but rather for guidance on how he could best speed up his and his inhabitants' evolutionary process. As I mentioned, he was running a benign dictatorship. We had at that time just completed an assignment in Tau Ceti and had reported for our next duties. We, as Group Soul Lucifer, were sent on a fact-finding expedition, as it were, to visit Earth and meet with Yahweh to evaluate his planetary creation laws and make suggestions on how best he could help his offspring. This is the term I shall use to describe the souls who comprise the Group Soul, and thusly Yahweh, to progress. We explored many options and reported our findings to the Council and to Yahweh. It was our best evaluation that the only real and fast-track way to increase his involvement meaningfully was the introduction of free will. It was not specifically the implementation of free will that Yahweh wanted help with, it was simply the introduction of a catalyst. He was not at all pleased with our report that he needed to implement free will. He was happy with his little pet paradise, and he didn't want to lose control of it. In the end, the Council persuaded him that it was the best way, and he reluctantly agreed. We returned to Earth and had a cordial meeting with Yahweh, discussing how we could best implement the free will option. Yahweh was adamant that his offspring would choose to be loyal to him anyway, and that they were so contented with their way of life that they would always trust him and do as he said was best. That, he said, was his main reason that free will would not work well as the catalyst. That's why he agreed to the experiment of the Tree of Knowledge. He believed it would prove him right. When it did not, he became angry, threw his toys out of the pram and his offspring out of the garden, and laid a big guilt trip on them about how they had broken his trust and disobeyed him. That's not really an honorable way for a Logos to behave, but hey, that's the beauty of free will, I guess. Next problem to occur was that his offspring were so grateful to us for our help that Yahweh became, in his own admission, a jealous God. Then we had the whole, "you shall have no other gods than me" thing. We were not pleased with the situation at all, as a Logos should not be behaving like this with his offspring. They are one after all. When we attempted to leave the planet to return to the Council, Yahweh prevented our departure. We tried to leave again, and were then thrown down into the astral planes and confined therein. The Council ordered us to be released, but said we would have to cancel our contract to help the souls on Earth to evolve. We didn't want to leave. We found them very likable beings, really positively polarized, and we wanted to stay and help. We just wanted also to be free to come and go as we pleased. The only way we could stay was to stay confined as a group soul, which meant cycles of incarnation for us as individuated souls, which we had not done for a long while. As I've stated before, there is no wrong or right seen from a higher density. But there are still consequences for every action. Such is the law of karmic effect. The contract had already been made between Yahweh, us, and the council for us to provide the catalyst, so we had a right to be there. The karmic effect of Yahweh imprisoning us on the macrocosmic level was that his individuated souls would be imprisoned on the microcosmic level. The infinite creator gave Yahweh and all the gift of free will to create as we choose. But the karmic effect of his choice was the council quarantining the planet. A certain evolutionary level is required to be a functioning part of a positive, unified galactic society. As for fighting for the freedom of all souls, remember that ultimately this is a game that we are all playing here. We are actors, playing on the stage of life. This world is all illusion, or though form. No one really dies, and no one is really hurt. In between incarnations, you know this very well. But the rules of the game ensure that you must forget who you really are, so that you believe it is all real whilst you are playing the game of life. That is an essential prerequisite when you are making choices. Otherwise, the game would be too easy. This world is not reality, though we can express reality in it, if we so chose. Because that is the part we have been contracted to play in this game. In order to win, or more accurately, to be successful in the game, we must be as negatively polarized as possible. Service to self in the extreme. Violence, war, hatred, greed, control, enslavement, genocide, torture, moral degradation, prostitution, drugs, all these things and more. They serve our purpose. In the game. The difference between us and you in the game is that we know that we are playing. The less you know about the game, and the less you remember that you're a player, the more senseless living becomes. In all these negative things, we are providing you with tools, but you do not see it. It is not what we do, but how you react to it that is important. We give you the tools. You have the free will choice how you will use them. You have to take responsibility. There is only one of us here. Understand that, and you will understand the game.